an asshole. And what he brings to my country, what he's awakened in my country is bigotry and distrust. He tells something, and then you go back and you see what he said, and it seems like the truth both times. He's so terrific at lying. I've never seen anybody so good. I mean, it's
When Cher goes off, she goes off. And Trump just got hit with a vocal tsunami. She didn't just call him out, she shredded him like a power ballad high note aimed straight at his ego. The internet, screaming. Late night hosts, eating this up. And Trump? Probably rage typing in all caps, trying to clap back. But let's be real, nothing can overpower the force of Cher in full drag mode. This isn't just shade. It's a Category 5 diva storm.
I have to tell you something. If someone said that my daughter was a hot piece of ass, I would put my fist through his face. Someone who would bring down the country because he doesn't win does not deserve anything, deserves nothing. He deserves nothing. He does not deserve any kind of respect, loyalty. I don't think he has two moral fibers to rub.
If there's one thing the world has learned, it's that Cher doesn't do subtle. So when she finally decided to go off on Trump, she didn't just send a passive-aggressive tweet or throw shade in an interview. Oh no, she unleashed a verbal hurricane. It was loud, it was dramatic, and it had more impact than a high note in a sold-out stadium.
The people he will bring with him will put an end to any hope that women have of getting the rights that we had in Roe versus Wade. I believe they will put an end to any gay marriage. They will put an end to gay adoption. It's not going to hurt me. I'm 70. It's not going to do anything to me, but it's going to do stuff to young people. And that really scares me, and it really bothers me.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe. Now, how did this masterpiece of a call-out happen? Was it a tweet so sharp that Elon considered banning capital letters just to prevent more damage? Was it a no-holds-barred TV appearance where she took over the entire segment and turned it into a one-woman roast session? Or, our personal favorite, was it a full-on cinematic moment, delivering her words like she was performing the final act of a rock opera? Because if anyone could make calling out a former president feel like a Grammy-worthy performance, it's Cher.
I will try and be as direct and honest with you as I possibly can be. I am positive that you are the most unattractive man I have ever met in my entire life. You have demonstrated every loathsome characteristic of the male personality and even discovered a few new ones. You are
And then, the moment heard around the world. It didn't matter if you were scrolling your phone, watching TV, or just minding your own business at a coffee shop. Boom! There it was. A call-out so powerful, it made people do double takes, rewind, and ask, did she really just say that? Yes. Yes, she did.
People in America could realize what kind of a person he is. What kind of, yes, but worse than that. And probably not very good. But
somewhere in the golden halls of Mar-a-Lago, Trump probably choked on his Diet Coke. 1 second, he was enjoying his usual routine of posting in all caps about ratings, polls, or how he invented golf, and the next, spit take. Phones were ringing, advisors were scrambling, and Fox News producers were already piecing together an emergency segment to defend his honor. Meanwhile, the internet had already gone nuclear. Twitter, X, was a war zone, Instagram was a meme factory, and TikTok, oh, forget it. TikTok was running victory laps. The reactions were instant and ruthless. People clipped, edited, remixed, and within minutes, you had everything from dramatic slow-motion replays of Cher's words to musical remixes where her voice was auto-tuned into a full-blown diss track. And let's not forget the celebrity reactions. Some posted cryptic laughing emojis, others went full, she said what she said. Even those who usually stayed out of politics were grabbing their popcorn like they were front row at one of her concerts. Cher had done it. She dropped the mic, walked off the stage, and left the world spinning. The only question left was, how was Trump going to react? And more importantly, was Cher done? Or was this just Act 1?
Total, complete alpha energy.
You could feel it coming. The moment Cher let loose and torched Trump, it was like setting off a firework in a gas station. There was no way he was going to let it slide. And sure enough, just as the internet was catching its breath from laughing, boom, Trump detonated on Truth Social. Fury, all caps, exclamation points flying like confetti. It was a meltdown for the ages. The man went into full damage control mode, frantically pounding out a response as if his phone had personally offended him. His usual playbook came out in force: deny, deflect, insult, and somehow make it all about himself.
Let's take a look at some of the people that claimed that they would leave America if Donald Trump became president again. In 2020, Barbara Streisand raised eyebrows when she said she'd move to England if Trump won a second term. She's still there. We, of course, saw Ellen leave with her partner, Portia de Rossi. She went to the Cotswolds in the UK. And actress America Ferrera claimed that she might be leaving at some point. Sharon Stone also said that she might move to Italy. Bring us up to speed on the celebrities that wanted to flee the States and those that are actually going to stick around.
And let's talk about that attempt to undermine Cher's career. Because, really, coming for someone who has dominated music, movies, and pop culture for literal generations, who has more awards than he has failed businesses, who has survived everything from Hollywood to Twitter wars without breaking a sweat. Bad strategy. But here's where it got even better: the accidental self-own. Trump was so eager to dismiss Cher's legacy that he ended up listing all the decades she's been wildly successful. It was like watching someone argue that Michael Jordan wasn't that great while reciting his championship wins. Iconic. Meanwhile, his inner circle had entered full panic mode. The damage control crew was working overtime, scrambling to make sure he hadn't just boosted Cher's career even further while trying to take her down. Fox News was gearing up to twist the story, probably labeling Cher a Hollywood elite out of touch with real Americans or something equally tired. But the internet wasn't buying it.
Like, on paper, he looked so good, you know. He was brought up rich. He had a good education. He's got all these young chicks. I don't know how young, but he's got all these young chicks. And he just keeps trading them in on younger chicks. And he's got all this money, and he's famous, and still he's such a...
And then came the inevitable, the nicknames. Because, of course, Trump had to slap together some kind of childish, bizarre attempt at an insult. It was supposed to be devastating, but instead it sounded like a rejected drag queen name. Cher, the queen of reinvention, the master of style, could have turned any of his weak jabs into a brand deal. If anything, she was probably already getting offers to trademark and sell T-shirts with whatever nonsense he blurted out. But the real difference between them? Cher didn't even need to respond. She just let the world do the roasting for her. While Trump was spiraling, raging, and trying to clap back, she was somewhere sipping a cocktail, laughing at the chaos she just created.
I believe, you know, none of us are perfect, but I believe she's genuine, and I believe, unlike Trump, who his friend of 20 years said the other night, Donnie Deutsch, said he doesn't want to be president. He wants, even no one's more surprised than him. He wants the crowds, he wants the adulation, doesn't give a about the world.
Because here's the thing. Cher isn't just a legend, she's untouchable. She survived every era, every industry shift, every attempt to dismiss her. Meanwhile, Trump, he's a walking punchline, a man whose every tantrum only reinforces the joke. And this time, the joke was on him, big time. Cher wasn't just winning, she was crushing. The second Trump tried and failed to land a solid comeback, the internet exploded into chaos, and she stood at the center of it, unshaken, untouched, and entirely undefeated. While Trump scrambled to reclaim the narrative, Cher was thriving, playing along like a performer who knew the encore was already hers. The name Cher was spreading like wildfire, turning from a typo into a full-blown cultural event, and she knew exactly how to keep it going. Instead of pushing back with anger, she doubled down on the joke, stepping into her new accidental persona with effortless confidence.
How did nobody run?
What are my thoughts on the Trump shooting? Secret Service, these guys are the best in the business. It's not going to happen again, and,
I want to say there shouldn't be political violence, but at this point...
Elections are like a clown show.
I think it's a gun rights thing.
You see Trump shot, and you're thinking, well, did they actually get him?
I guess it's possible that it's a hoax, but I think it probably happened.
Our government lies to us all the time. It's not like he's above it.
He looks even stronger now.
Do not want to vote.
Probably sealed the deal that he's going to be the president-elect.
Run for president at this point.
Online, people weren't debating policy. They weren't rehashing old scandals. They were chanting Cher lives in comment sections, turning profile pictures into vintage Cher album covers, and creating fan edits of her riding a golden chariot into battle. The internet had chosen a side, and it wasn't with the guy frantically rage posting into the void. Inside his gilded Florida fortress, Trump's frustration was hitting critical mass. Every attempt to redirect attention back to himself only made things worse. His words weren't being dissected with fear or reverence. They were being turned into memes before he could even finish typing them. No matter how hard he pushed, the world refused to move past the Cher spectacle.
Okay, you have, rightly so, been incredibly outspoken about your disapproval of President Donald Trump. Say one nice thing about him.
No! What's one nice thing about him? There's nothing nice about him. I can't say one nice thing about him.
And Cher, she could feel it. The shift. That moment when the fight stops being a fight and simply turns into one person desperately yelling while the other gracefully accepts their victory lap. She didn't need to say much, just a few perfectly timed remarks here and there, a laugh, a wink, a knowing smirk that told the world she wasn't just playing the game, she was running it. Somewhere in the chaos, someone unearthed Trump's old grudge against her, resurfacing his past jabs about her career being over. The irony was too good to ignore, because while he was floundering, Cher was headlining the biggest viral moment of the week without even trying. His insults had aged like spoiled milk, while she remained timeless, untouchable, and completely unbothered.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology.
Cher, what was your reaction when you heard him say that?
Oh, come on. And he says those letters like a child that's just learning the alphabet and then pokes his finger in the air for Q. I mean, he's the most disingenuous man I've ever seen. And I want to tell you, my people will not believe him for a minute. And I read that he was at a 7-hour closed-door meeting with 400 of the most conservative, hate gay people, LGBT community that there are. So how does he go from that meeting to telling my people that he will...
Television hosts were weighing in. Late-night monologues were filled with secondhand embarrassment for him, and even his usual defenders were struggling to spin the situation in his favor. What was there to defend? A man so rattled by a pop icon that he accidentally gave her a new brand identity? It was a level of self-sabotage that no PR team could clean up. The entire ordeal had morphed into something bigger than just a back and forth. It became a defining image, a snapshot of what happens when a cultural titan stands unshaken while an enraged ex-president flails in the digital abyss. The contrast was stark. On one side, Cher was effortlessly basking in the glow of a newfound internet movement, while on the other, Trump was trapped in a losing battle against a joke he accidentally created.
Do you feel that you need to speak out?
Well, first of all, I'm a citizen, and that's my right. I've been through 11 presidents. We've been afraid of different countries, and we've been afraid of different actions from those countries. I never thought that I would fear actions from my own country.
You're always very vocal about women's issues and supportive. Are you encouraged by the changes that are happening?
I am. I'm so much. I am so happy, and it's taken so long. I remember what you had to go through, and men patting you on the head, you know, and you're a star, and you're making all this money, and men are still
By the time the dust settled, it wasn't just about who said what, it was about who walked away with their legacy untouched. Trump had thrown everything he could, but he couldn't change the simple truth. Cher wasn't just a winner. She was eternal. She wasn't just making noise. She was on a full-blown warpath. From Provincetown to Miami to Fire Island, she wasn't merely attending fundraisers, she was turning them into legendary pop spectacles. Political speeches? Please. She turned them into performances. Every room she walked into became a stadium, every microphone a stage, and every Trump joke a hit single. And it wasn't just Cher versus Trump anymore, she had an army. Drag queens, Cher impersonators, die-hard fans who had been standing since the 60s, they all answered the call. At every event, there were multiple versions of Cher. Glam Cher, disco Cher, leather-clad, turn-back-time Cher. And they all had the same mission, roast Trump to a crisp.
Where someone's got pretty much control over if you live or if you can feed your children or you can pay your rent or you can do whatever, or if you're here illegally, or a million different things.
The fundraisers felt less like political gatherings and more like sold-out Vegas residencies. Between fiery speeches, Cher would belt out a classic, hit Trump with another punchline, and then sashay into another chorus as the crowd roared. She wasn't just endorsing a candidate. She was leading a movement with sequins, sass, and a microphone. And Trump? He was somewhere, still trying to figure out how Cher became the most powerful name on the internet. At the end of the day, Trump can fire off as many rage-fueled, all-caps rants as he wants, but let's be real. Cher has already won. So while Trump had tweets, Cher had an entire untouchable legacy. She's outlasted disco, defeated auto-tune, and conquered every decade since the 60s. Trump? He's still trying to figure out how to close an umbrella.
Say one nice thing about him.
And the whole past her expiration date argument? Nice try. Cher has been defying time, logic, and gravity for over half a century. She survived fashion choices that should have been career-ending, reinvented herself more times than anyone can count, and still manages to sell out shows like she's in her prime. Meanwhile, Trump's biggest claim to youthfulness is his spray tan and an endless supply of cheeseburgers. But let's be honest, this battle is far from over. Cher's got a Rolodex of clapbacks and zero fear of speaking her mind. Trump? He's incapable of letting anything go. If you think the feud ends here, think again. The next time Trump so much as sneezes on Truth Social, Cher will be right there with another knockout punch. And you better believe, when the dust settles, Cher will still be standing, probably in a bedazzled bodysuit, singing If I Could Turn Back Time, while Trump desperately wishes he could.